Hi guys, it's a bright sunny day. It's the 17th of March, which is unusual for a bright sunny day. I've come out with the camera. I haven't brought the drone, I've brought the camera, although I've just dropped the microphone on it, to take some photos of the Flying Scotsman that has just passed through Kent, or is passing through Kent today anyway, from London to Canterbury, around the coast, and then back up to Canterbury, and then back on to London. So it's a lovely day for it, strangely enough, and I'll see if I can get some more pictures of it somewhere else. So that very quickly descended into what turned out to be the day from hell. It started out with good intentions of going out and taking pictures of a train, and ended up with everything that could go wrong going wrong. So what I mean by that, initially the first thing that went wrong was the camera I'm filming on now. When I just did that bit talking about the train, it literally fell off the roof of the car when the wind blew it. We are on the 17th of March. What the f***? And I managed to break the mount for the microphone. Now luckily the camera didn't get damaged. I was very, very lucky. It fell onto concrete floor, onto a road, but it was sort of the way my day was going. When I went to actually get the pictures of the train, the Flying Scotsman, I went to a spot in Richborough near Sandwich. There was about 20 people there. I got speaking to a lady who was with her husband who was in a wheelchair. We sat the other side of the railway. My camera, I took the Pentax camera, the battery was on about 100%, or looked like it was on 100% when I got there. We had to wait a couple of hours for the train. By the time we'd done all the waiting for the train, so I managed to find an app on the phone from some of the drone groups to tell us when it was coming. It was late anyway. Eventually got it to say, it's moving from Canterbury, so it's going to be about half an hour to 40 minutes. It got to Minster, and I was like, it's going to be about probably 10 or 15 minutes from Minster. I went to check my camera, and my battery had gone flat. So I legged it across the railway track, across this like sty thing, back over to the car, which is luckily just across the other side. I did manage to get the battery, run back across, but it's sort of everything was a bit of a hurry, so some of the pictures I got as the train came past were a bit blurry. The train did come past very quickly. Wasn't expecting it to be as fast as it was going, actually, probably doing about 60 miles an hour, just whoosh, zoomed past. I was like, wasn't quite ready for it to get it. And as I said, everything else had been going wrong. So anyway, that was one part of it. The train itself was doing like a whole circuit of Kent. It had to go round and round to get to where it was going to. So I thought, right, I'll go to Canterbury to get it on the next leg. Had plenty of time. We knew what it was doing, knew what it was going to be. All these people had had all these lists of where it's going, where and when. So I thought, right, I'll get to Canterbury. Went to Canterbury, went across the other side of the town, other side of Canterbury, sort of north side of Canterbury, went up by a place called Toddler's Cove. There's a road that goes up to a crossing, and again it's an unmanned crossing. Great place to get a picture of the train. Sun was not quite in the right place, but I thought, right, I'll use the Sony camera this time. So instead of using my big Pentax SLR, I thought I'd use the Sony. It might focus a bit better, and I've also bought a new little tripod to help me steady it. Lovely little Manfrotto monopod. And it's only 4 compact cameras, and it worked out really well actually. Stood around again, had to wait for a while. A couple of people turned up, but it was taking a while, and I thought, you know what, I want to check the battery. The battery on the Sony was wasn't empty, but it wasn't far off empty, so I thought, you know what, just to be on the safe side, I better go and change the battery. So I went back to the car again, which was just by the railway track, put the new battery in the camera. I was doing it through the passenger door, put the battery in. The alarm went off on the car. I thought, the bloody alarm's gone off. What a poxy thing. Okay, fine. So I shut the car door with the camera in my hand, so I've got to check the camera, switched the camera on, and the battery I'd put in was flat. So I went, oh shit, flat battery in a camera, great. Went to open the door and realised that I'd locked the car. So the car was locked. I thought, that's fine, get my keys. Keys were in the car, and the car was locked, and I couldn't get in it. So, as you can tell, I wasn't overly impressed. I was like, oh, for God's sake. I've got my phone, my camera's flat, I will use the phone to take pictures. I was keeping an eye on the app to know when the train was coming. So I thought, sod it, I'll wait for the train. So I waited for the train. Again, I said, there's only about 3 people turned up. I managed to get the train, it was going backwards. I got a nice clear shot of it, or a couple of nice clear shots of it. So my choice was going to be either get a taxi all the way home, get the spare key, and then get the taxi all the way back to Canterbury and unlock the car, or ring my brother. So I rang my brother, I said, any chance you can go and get the spare key for me and then bring the spare key to me so I can unlock the car? And he was like, yeah, not a problem, fine. I was like, oh, grateful. Luckily, about an hour and a half to 2 hours later, my brother turned up with the key. Everyone else had gone by then, but I knew the train was going to come back through because it was sitting in Canterbury. So I said to my brother, thank you very much. We got talking to the transport police that had turned up with this guy and this young girl. She sat in the car, kept him warm. He's talking about everything going on and keeping an eye on people that were turning up, although there was no one there apart from me and my brother at the time. And we was wondering whether the train's going to go again. My brother said, we'll see when it's going. The guy did tell us it would be probably going at about 7 o'clock at night. And it did. The police girl got out of the car. She wasn't overly impressed because she had to get out and she'd been sitting there with the heater on. And she said something very funny. She was like, this is British Transport Police. And she said, oh, I hate trains. I was like, kind of got the wrong job, love. But she was all right. He was all right. A few more people had turned up. But the problem then, of course, was by the time the train came past then, it was night time. So again, I didn't get any really good shots of the train because it was night time, it was dark, and basically the cameras I had were flat. So I ended up with trying to do it on my phone and not getting the best shots again in the dark. So overall, the day of getting pictures of the Flying Scotsman didn't work out anything like I planned. At least I saw it physically, I just didn't get the kind of pictures I wanted to get. The day before I went out and took pictures of the train, I had more sand on my car than I did on the last video when I showed you pictures of Margate Beach. This week I am on holiday, another one of these sort of planned, unplanned holidays. Work just unusually to take time off, take it off now. It's before the end of the year, so you won't get other opportunity if you don't do it. Fine, take time off. It has given me the chance to go out. I will go out and take some more pictures. I've got a few things I need to do. One of them is my bracelet. The bracelet I wear on this hand, it keeps stretching. I use nylon to fix it, and it always stretches because I have to put it over my hand, and then every now and then it decides to break. So I do put it back together painstakingly, but I really want a better solution for it. So I'm going to go to Hobbycraft, or might have to end up at the jewellers, I don't know, and try and get some way of putting it on. Either I might still use nylon, but maybe get a clasp or something so when I put it on my wrist, it stays on and I don't have to stretch it, so I won't lose it in the future. Because my worry has always been that one day it will snap and I'll be out somewhere and it will snap in the road and it will fall into the road, or I could be anywhere and it could just drop one day and I lose it altogether. So at the moment it's all in a little pot. And I've managed to take Cuddles out of his Christmas jumper as well, because his Christmas top, so he might be going back to his Mandalorian top for a while. And as I said, we'll find somewhere to go out. I'm going to go out and do a bit of bobs, depending on the weather. Obviously, thing with petrol prices and the way things are going, again, that's not as easy as it sounds, but I'll do something this holiday.